let's start this thing, bruh.
Let's knock it out.
Let's knock it
Let's,
out. Did you see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with anybody, or did you see it by yourself?
I saw it with Bryn, so I have kind of a two perspectives to
Okay.
give on it,
All
and
right.
yeah,
Uh, cool. So let's just start this bad boy off hot, man. And I'm gonna ask you in our current ranking. If you're on YouTube, you'll see it on top of the video. Where do you think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood goes? Also, welcome to the Popcorn Brothers episode
boom,
3.
there it is.
Bada bing.
Let's get right going. Let's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I'm so curious
Leonardo
to see what you say.
DiCaprio.
I have no idea what you're gonna say.
You want to just? I'm just gonna give you like my one sentence reaction, just so I
Okay.
can. I thought it was freaking fantastic. I loved it.
Oh,
I absolutely loved it.
dude, I thought you were gonna hate it. I don't know
I,
why. I
I
just thought you weren't gonna like it.
cause in the middle of watching it, I was like, "Oh my god, nothing is happening in this movie." And
I,
then the further you get in, you realize that's like for a reason. And then the ending, you're like, "Oh yeah, this
dude,
is fantastic."
the ending of that movie was absolutely
It's freaking
bananas, man.
bonkers.
I don't throw the word bananas around lightly,
No, he
okay?
doesn't.
I don't say the B word that often, but that the end of that movie was just freaking fantastic. I know it's like a weird way to get into a podcast is just talking about the freaking end of a movie, like a
It
spoiler
was
thing.
so
So we
freaking
won't
good.
spoil it, but that's when I was like, dang.
Can we spoil it? Can we assume people have seen it when they listen to this?
I I I guess
I feel like
so.
it's safe.
I assume no one's gonna listen to it had they not seen it, regardless.
Yeah, but
Uh,
it's the ending is so crazy because like once it
it's
got to the
hilarious,
ending, you realized what the rest of the movie was. You're like, oh my god, like
dude.
I completely forgot I was watching like a Quentin Tarantino movie, and then he just starts ramming that girl's head into the fireplace. I was like,
Yeah,
oh my
or
god.
it rams her head in like 10 different places. And
Yeah,
but dude, the flamethrower part had my theater just absolutely
I
dying.
know.
I I
Everyone was
I have
going nuts
not been
that
in a
whole
movie
last minute.
theater like that. Just everyone was dying. It was awesome. It was such
It was
man.
so
I was loving
fantastic.
that. But like you said, I had no idea this movie was about the like Manson
The Manson
murders or whatever.
family. Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea. I didn't even know what the heck that was until
Yeah, me
I've like
neither.
heard of it before, but I had to like look it up afterwards.
Yeah,
And
once I looked it up, I realized like knowing that going in would have made that movie so much
oh
better.
my
Because
god,
like
dude,
every little moment I noticed, like, oh my god, that was actually really intense. I just had no idea.
I know, like I thought that whole scene up at the Spawn Ranch,
Yeah,
when I saw it, I was like, this is the most random, like kind of
yeah,
dumb thing. Like I
like
had no
super
idea
tense. And I
what
was like,
any of
what
it
the heck is the
was.
point of this?
I'm like, is it like I didn't know there was any like backstory to that at all. I'm like, this is
I
like
know.
weird, I guess. Like luckily Brad Pitt super charismatic and it's fun to watch anyways, but I had no idea.
Yeah,
And like after seeing the movie, like I really liked it. I thought the ending was incredible, but afterwards I was like, I don't really know how I felt about that. But then I like looked up because I saw in the credits I saw like the Manson family. I was like, wait a
yeah,
minute. And then I looked it up and then all of a sudden like I started to like think more on the movie and I haven't stopped thinking about it since. Like it's really resting
yeah.
well with me.
It all just like made sense all of a sudden, like why that
Uh-huh.
scene was so tense. And like the guy who comes to their house in the beginning is literally Charles Manson, the murderer. I was like, oh, like there's
Wait,
always little
what?
that the guy who walks in and he asks for a different family. Oh, they moved, and he's like, oh, sorry, and he leaves.
Oh, really? That was him?
That's
That
Charles
makes so much more
Manson.
sense now. I'm like,
I
who was
know.
this guy
See,
and why did he never come back in the movie? He's
it's
like
he
asking about
just
a back
he's like
entrance.
scoping it out or whatever. And
I
but
had no
everything,
idea.
I know. Once you learn more about the Manson family, I was like, man, every little like hint you can start to notice the hints throughout of like, oh man, this was actually like really intense. I had no idea.
I was like, I was like, even though I didn't really know all that, I was kind of like riding the high of it being like literally everyone in the theater was just getting like whacked off because we're all from LA, and it was just
Yeah,
making it
pretty
seem like where
much.
we live at is the coolest place on planet Earth. and like everyone's like fist bumping in the theater. There's a guy next to me, like I swear, he was like with his girlfriend. Like every 15 minutes, he'd point to the screen, and be like, I that's that one street we drove down. Like
Yeah,
I've been in that restaurant like every single time.
that
It's
was
just
me
like,
for that theater part though, because I was there when they filmed it, and I was like,
yeah, that
I was there, I was there, I saw
I was
this.
there, I was there. Um, but like when I first saw it, I was like, I think the Margot Robbie part, all of it was so pointless. Like that's what I
Yeah,
thought, but now I realize like how important she was to it all.
yeah,
But
it's,
I guess, but she's still cool to watch. I'll watch Margot Robbie like
yeah. We know.
watch a movie for 5 hours straight and then get above a 3 star on my rating there. But
I liked the Margot parts because they were like it felt like once you because I knew Sharon Tate got murdered. Like I knew that's kind of what it was about.
yeah, I didn't know she got
S
murdered. I just remembered that that was a name that exists.
Yeah, so like the whole movie was to me like a slow build. You're like, oh, you're just getting to know she's like a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed Hollywood star, but you know she's gonna get murdered at some point.
Mm.
And then it starts to build up, and then they just freaking destroy the Manson guys in their
Dude,
house. And I was like,
it's
okay, it's one
freaking
of these things.
hilarious. So
So
is
it's
this so this like an alternate reality thing then?
yeah, it's just
So
like
instead of
Inglorious
them going to go
Bastards,
murder
and
her, it's just freaking Brad Pitt and his dog. It just kills everyone,
yeah,
and Leonardo DiCaprio uses a flamethrower in the pool. That part was so freaking funny.
it was
But
so
that movie was
funny.
great. When Brad Pitt came back, freaking like super high,
Yeah,
and his dog just like that. That part was just so just like perfect. I love that, and it's just fun. The whole movie was like it felt pointless, but at the same time, I was captivated the entire time.
yeah, that's how I felt too. Well, first of all, I can give you the second opinion from
What
the
she
person I
think?
went with, Bryn Meacham. She hated it with a fierce passion the entire
Why?
time. She was
Was she
leaning to
being
me.
like, oh, was she
She was
like being some? No, I don't want to say it. Go
she was a
ahead.
combination of extremely bored
uh
and just not interested. So she
okay.
was like the whole time she's like, "How long is this movie?" And I
Oh
was
my
thinking about it. I
gosh,
was like,
women, am I
"I'm
right?
yeah, yeah, you're right, you're right." The
I'm
whole
just kidding,
time I was like, "Why am I not bored?" Like, cause this nothing's happening, but like I'm
dude.
enjoying it. And then the ending just
I,
wrapped it all up, and I'm like, everything makes
y-
sense now.
yeah. The first half of the movie, I was just entranced by it all, and I thought I was just every single second of it. Like this is so cool. And once like the halfway point was over, I was like, why am I not bored yet?
Yeah,
Like I
I had
like
the same
literally had
thought.
that thought, but like I still never got bored as I kept watching it. And then that ending happened, and it was just like, oh my god, it was so
Oh
good.
my god.
But at the same
Yeah,
time, like before I like thought about the whole murders part, whatever. Like I was kind of like disappointed in the fact that there were really nothing happened in the movie. Like I was kind of like down on it a little bit. Like I
yeah,
know I
me
really
too.
enjoyed it, but like I had the feeling that like the movie like wasn't as good as all of the parts there. Like opposed to saying it was better than the sum of its parts. I was like,
Hmm.
I kind of want them to make another movie with Leo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, and Margot Robbie in Hollywood. Like this was cool, but
Yeah,
like you, maybe there's some lost potential there. I don't know. But then I just thought about it more, and I thought it was super good. But let's get down to where we want to rank this bad boy. And clearly, we're in agreement that it's both really good. But I'm about to slap you in the face here, man. All right, because
okay.
the more and more I think about this, man, I just can't. I know I had some nice things to say, but I just can't have Endgame being number one.
I'm okay putting Hollywood at number two, but
I
nothing will ever replace
is
the
it?
feelings I felt watching Endgame. I saw Endgame again a couple weeks ago, and I felt the exact. I got goosebumps. I almost
Do
cried.
I?
There's no movie
But
that
here's
can
the
make people
difference,
do
man.
that.
Between you and I never want to watch Endgame again. Like I thought it was really cool.
I was thinking about going a third time.
I you may have been the ticket that got it over Avatar.
Maybe I was the
Which you
guy.
know what? This is a little tangent. I don't know why people are so excited for Avengers beating Avatar. I think it's almost I don't understand. I don't know if you're following like how intensely people are trying to like get Avengers over Avatar, and like because they're like Avatar sucks, I didn't like it, which I totally get that. Like Avatar was really forgettable, but at the same time, I think it's pretty neat that a completely original film, like, I mean, yeah, it was like has some story threads from other things, but like it's a completely original intellectual property, was the number one grossing movie of all time. I think that is super cool. But now everyone wants the 23rd movie in a Disney franchise to be number one. I think that's kind of sad that it took it away.
Hold on. You might be able to see my eye roll from Los Angeles all the way from
It's-
Florida. Because that's like the dumbest thing you've ever said.
Why is that dumb? Do you
It's
not
like,
understand what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. It's like, I just want an original movie
the
as
the
number
the, the
one.
whole the whole narrative of Disney taking over Hollywood and ruining everything is just that's just being supported by that. That's Avatar was a completely original movie, but it's owned by Disney now, ironically. But like it was a completely original like idea or at least a completely original property, and it got taken down by the 23rd movie in a Disney franchise. People are always like, there's too many sequels, there's too many Disney movies. This was like the ultimate sequel, ultimate Disney movie that took it down. And I think that's a little sad.
I could see it, I guess, but this is a culmination of like
Doesn't sound like
the
you could
first
see it,
time
buddy.
in movie history they've built it up for like 12 something years into one movie. It's the biggest movie event ever.
I don't know. I
I'm okay
think
with that taking the top spot. I really don't care though.
clearly there's some fanness there. I think the biggest movie event I've ever been to was, even though I didn't like it that much, was The Force Awakens. I thought
Yeah,
I
that
don't
was
think
pretty
any
big.
I don't think any hype has matched that. But
That's because just not a Marvel guy. Because if you had been there opening night at Endgame, you would have felt differently.
I, yeah, I feel like there's
I've just
more.
never been a part of an audience so engaged into a movie. People were
I
crying.
guess.
People were
Well,
like laughing. We
yeah,
we
I
laughed.
can't
We
even.
cried. I had goosebumps. I stood up and cheered.
You sound like a big old nerd, buddy.
You're just jealous that
It's,
movies don't make you
I,
feel this way anymore, old man.
have you ever cried during a movie before?
Yeah, when Will Smith had to choke his dog in uh I Am Legend,
Actually, for
I
some
think a
reason, my
tear
my
shed.
my head instantly went to thinking that you cried during Suicide Squad. I was,
No,
I was like, what the?
maybe
Deadshot
if I
made you
cried
cry, man?
the lost potential.
I
God
like Suicide
dang it,
Squad.
this could have been good.
I've just lost all my credibility by trashing Endgame and saying I like Suicide Squad.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't love Suicide. I like.
You can
I
just admit
liked.
you're the guy who likes things that other people don't like because you think it's cool.
Is it because I had a Zune in middle
Yeah,
school? Huh?
yes, that's more proof. You
the
bought a
Zune. The
Zune.
Zune was a better
And
device
yeah,
than
and
an
you kept
iPhone.
telling us all that, and then what do you own now? Or
If
what do you listen to music on?
I listen to music on my Samsung Galaxy, all
And
right,
still, you're still
buddy.
keeping up the same routine here. Oh my god! I remember you
Man,
telling me how nice the Zune was, listening to the
dude,
radio.
Zune was Spotify before Spotify existed, man. They created the right. No, this is off topic. Zune was incredible. I don't want to hear anything about it. I love my Zune.
It's just more proof that there's a little bit in you that just hates things that are widely popular.
I don't hate Marvel movie. I put
You hate Marvel
Spider-Man
movies.
above Toy Story.
That's because you're not 10. So Toy Story didn't really do it for you anymore. You can still see how
Toy
it
Story
is a good
Toy Story
movie.
3 did it for me, man.
That's because you were like 17 or something when that came out. Now you're a
Oh, man,
grown
now we're
man.
getting into some kind of age numbers. I'm a grown man now.
You're a grown man,
I
and
appreciate that
now
coming from you.
Toy Story 4 doesn't do it. I admit it didn't do it for me either, but I
I,
could recognize it as good.
well, I think the reason why Toy Story 4 didn't really do it for me because it really wasn't about like I don't know, like it like put all of our characters that we love to the side except for Woody.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like
Every
Buzz
time
Lightyear, I guess Buzz Lightyear's story was completely done.
yeah, Buzz Lightyear's apparently just
Rex,
completely stupid now.
yeah, they're like his arc's over. He's just this funny dumb guy now,
Yeah,
and like
I hated that.
it's kind of sad. It was still a great movie.
Anyways, back to Endgame.
I think
It just has everything. It had everything.
I don't think it had everything. I think
Like
it had
how can you?
everything in the capacity of a Marvel movie. I don't
Yeah,
I
but
don't think I don't think anything in Endgame just it's hard saying it to you because I don't think anything in Endgame like matched up to the ending of Once Upon a Time in
Oh,
Hollywood.
are you
Any
kidding me?
none
We're
of
gonna
the
compare
I don't
endings
think
here?
I don't think any of the acting came to par of what's in Once Upon a Time the
Okay, here
Hollywood.
you don't go to
The
Marvel for the acting. Okay, you go for the characters, you go for the huge story, characters you love. Iron Man died, people wept. That's
yeah,
special.
I'm
That's
sure
special.
I just there's like we're rating this on some kind of barometer. I said this in like
It's
the
got a
first episode.
pedestal on. It's
It's
standing on a pedestal because of what it represents as the ending of this huge era of movies.
it's extremely impressive and it's unprecedented. I will say that. But like, and I totally agree with our list right now. It is number one. But I hate the idea of keeping it at number one just because it's some kind of feat that hasn't happened before, opposed to
Here's
being
like
this
I
like
don't I don't
movie that
mind. I'm okay with it being bounced off number one. I don't think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a movie that's gonna do it. I just
I
don't
guess
think it's the
I
one.
I don't disagree with you there because Once Upon a Time in Hollywood isn't my favorite movie of the year, and we haven't talked about my favorite movie of the year. Um, it's definitely close, but it's also like it's not one of my favorite movies ever. Like I'm not super
Hmm.
passionate about it being number one, but like the more and more as the year goes on, Endgame being number one is just starting to really tear me apart, man.
Shut up!
I
You're
cannot
just the
end this year.
worst.
I
See,
cannot end this
here's
year with that being number one. Not
I
because I
hope.
have any kind of agenda against it, because
Yeah,
I just know there's gonna be a movie that comes out that like just is just better. I don't know. I don't want to put it in more refined words than that.
I hope it's not number one at the end. Like I hope there's a movie that comes out and makes me feel something again.
Yeah, because I was just
But
talking to my friend today, and I was like, I was reflecting on the on this year of movies, and there just hasn't been a movie this year where I like was like that was a really freaking good movie. It
the
was
only
like,
one has been Endgame and Spider-Man: Far From Home, where I walked out going, "That was amazing."
oh, well, there's one we haven't talked about that I walked out saying that was amazing. Um, but we won't get into that yet. I for now we might change this later. I'll put it at number two. It's definitely better than Spider-Man.
I'm okay with saying that. Yeah.
All right, but it's still this is not what I want. Maybe I just want it gone so badly that I'm misplacing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But I think at number two is a surefire place for it.
See, I think maybe we'll come back and visit this. It's been slowly getting better in my head every time
It's
I
been
sleep
getting
on it.
yeah, same here.
So at some point I might come
I kind
back
of
and be
want to
like,
see
you
it
know what? I
again.
think it's better. It might be better seeing it again now that you know more about the Manson family, like I
Hmm.
do. But I just
It's
can't
just
shake the fact that I was bored for like half this movie. I'm like, oh my god, do
yeah.
something
I
with
know I
this.
agree with you there. It's like even though like the Margot Robbie parts like had a meaning to it, like they were still extremely like nearly pointless.
Yeah, they
Besides
really
the
were.
fact that like by the way this person was supposed to die. Like she just like
Yeah.
wasn't an interesting character at all. Also, I will say this much though: if the Popcorn Brothers loved feet, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood would be number one without a doubt.
And we do love feet.
And we do love feet. There were so many bare
Nasty,
feet in that
dirty,
movie,
nasty
and like
feet.
it wasn't just like you got to kind of respect him for just owning it, man. Because like this movie had so many feet right in the lens of the camera for like so long. It was almost shocking.
It was
Uh,
almost jarring. I felt
I know there's
uncomfortable.
one guy in my movie theater who was like sweating a little. He's like, "This is an incredible movie.
Is that
Like
Dakota
it was
Fanning's
made
dirty
for
big toe?
him."
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
but
baby.
all right, I'm fine with it being there. I
Yeah,
guess for
I
now.
think it's good there. I don't. It's one thing made a lot of sense. I watched Quentin Tarantino's like direct from the director's chair, like some
Hmm.
YouTube video or something like that, and he
Hmm.
said he liked to structure his scripts like novels. And all of a sudden, it
Yeah, that
just
kind of
made me
makes a lot of
it
sense.
like it kind of felt like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is like watching a novel.
Yeah, it's like a
It's
lot
a little
of
slow burn.
like there's like 30 pages that like you if you made a movie out of it, you would usually cut that out. but that
Yeah.
was like still in the movie. But all of it was super interesting and like super fun to watch. But like I agree with you. Probably the reason why I'm not fighting too hard for it to be number one is I can't shake the feeling that like I really love this movie, but at the same time I kind of wish they would make it again and like do more with Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio and Margot
Yeah.
Robbie because like I it feels like it's not gonna happen again having that like cool of a cast, such a cool setting, such a cool like period of time and like the
Mhm.
characters that they are. Like I love the characters, I love that all was like, super cool. But all right, whatever, dog. Let's move on
Yeah.
to the next movie, which is The Lion King, which we both saw, and I will
I'll tell
start
you what.
out.
I told you there was gonna be one movie that I thought was gonna be better than Endgame.
This was Lion King.
It's not Lion King. It's not even close.
This is an interesting one. It's better than Aladdin for sure, which we have at
Yeah.
number 8.
It's better than Aladdin.
It's better than it's, dude. I don't think the more and more I think about Aladdin, I almost want to move it below Men in Black International. Like, I was just thinking. I think I was telling Sam or something this. Like, if I saw Aladdin on Disney Channel as some kind of like a Disney Channel original movie, which like lowers the bar,
Yeah.
I would have thought that was bad. That was not good. I would have thought if only that was a Hollywood movie and they had some kind of good main actor and they could up the budget and like make it better, it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
This wasn't good. It is weird that Will Smith was the best part, like surprisingly, but like that was
Yeah.
not a
It
good
is.
movie.
It's
And I think
super
part of
weird.
it, yeah, I think part of it is that maybe that story doesn't translate very well to live action because it's just not super deep or interesting in that case. Like, but it wasn't very good. Lion King was a
No.
lot better than Aladdin, so it's
Lion
for
King was better
sure
because I think the story.
the
I
story
just I just
translates
like
a lot
Lion King
better.
better in general.
Yeah, maybe it's a little nostalgia playing into it as well. But
Yeah.
I'll be honest, or the quote unquote live action wasn't like as bad as I thought it was gonna be. The only thing that held me back was that there was just zero emotion in their eyes.
Yeah. That's like
Like,
what everybody's been saying.
like,
It's like
like,
no emotion gets through to like the crowd because they literally are not doing anything with their eyes or
yeah, it's really
anything
weird.
pretty much.
Like, if like, have you seen Mowgli on Netflix?
No.
It's like it's a Jungle Book movie, but it's directed by Andy Serkis, and instead of being like the Lion King where it's like emulating reality, it's like realistic but with like more cartoony like faces, so they actually have emotion and stuff. I think if it was like that, it would be better. But it's almost like this is what I compare the Lion King to is like you ever go on YouTube and you see those like we remade Mario 64 in Unreal Engine 4
Yeah.
and like
You're like,
you're like,
why?
"Oh, this is cool. This is what Mario would look like realistic." But it's like it literally lost everything that made that game charming. It's
Yeah.
like I would never play the Unreal Engine 4 Mario 64 over playing like the original. And like this was I didn't hate it. I liked it. I think I enjoyed it like thoroughly. It's just
Yeah.
all the scenes didn't like hit like the sad scene or whatever was like when his dad died wasn't as sad because like it
Where
was literally
the hard zoom goes,
oh my god. Okay,
no, and you're
so
like, ugh.
the hard zoom out of him yelling no the first time, I was like, that's a little weird. But when they did a flashback at the end in like grayscale, I was
You're
like,
like, stop.
this looks really dumb.
It's just
That
like
was
it's like no different than a lion roaring. You're just like straight faced lion. They always look angry.
he goes,
So
no.
no, you're just like,
This is
it's not working. I
it's
thought,
like sometimes the movie gave me the feeling of like if Billy Eichner, uh, those like videos where it's like actual live animals and comedians or somebody just like voices them
yeah,
over.
yeah,
That's what it felt like sometimes. It was just like
yeah. I thought the voice acting just felt like super, like I don't know, obvious or like just out of it.
Uh-huh.
So you're just like, yeah, it felt like you were watching people do a voiceover of like it looked like actual lions, but it
It
didn't
looked
feel like they were
nice.
talking.
Yeah, like
You're
you
just
could
like
have
people,
replaced it.
yeah, people
Like,
were talking over these lions walking around.
yeah. And I almost forgot that Donald Glover played Simba because every time they sing, like Beyonce just goes way too
Yeah,
hard.
we're
Like
gonna
you
get we're gonna
notice
get
that
heat for this, but Beyonce was bad in this movie. She was so
her
bad.
her voice acting was awful,
Yeah,
and
terrible.
whenever she sang, she like this went way too freaking hard, and
Yeah,
like you couldn't even hear like Donald Glover sing, and like you
dare
just
I
kind of
say,
forgot that
she
he was even.
oversang it,
She did.
and
She
she was
overdid it.
yeah,
It
she
was
was
like
a bad part of the movie. Like she really, I don't want to say she ruined good chunks of it, but like she was not a joy to listen
it
to.
was like when you go to like a basketball game and someone sings a national anthem but like goes way too hard at it.
Yeah,
But imagine someone doing that for like The Lion King. It
yeah,
just
you're just like we all know what this
it's
is
like
supposed to be.
stop.
Like you don't have to go nuts with it.
Like,
It's good the way
can
it
you
is.
feel the love? It's just like stop. Chill
Yeah,
out a little bit.
I agree with
It's kind
that.
of sad. I wanted to hear more Donald Glover, honestly. She just
I
took it
think there
over.
were like a very select few of the voice actors like managed to get their like
I
emotion
thought
through
I love
through
Seth
the
Rogen in it.
character. Yeah, I was like Seth Rogen, Billy Eichner, whoever played Scar,
It took
and
me a moment to get into Billy
I think
Eichner,
that's
but
it.
I ended up liking it.
Yeah,
I will
when
say
Billy Eichner first
Scar's
talked, I
like
was like, oh,
song sounded
he's just
really
being
dope.
Billy Eichner. He's not even trying to be Timon. And then I was like, okay, he's just his own
Yeah, it sounded
Timon,
like
and I
Billy on
actually
the
love it.
street. Yeah, but then even
It's
another day,
like,
it really worked. Kind of got into his own.
yeah,
But
at first it was like a weird Billy on the street episode, and I was like, he's just being
yeah.
Billy Eichner. This is so weird. But then I was like, you know what? He's putting his own spin on it, and it's working, and
What's
I
that
like it.
song
It's
that Scar
freaking funny.
sings?
Be prepared.
Yeah, that
They gave him
did
30
not
seconds.
translate with the live action thing very well. I don't
That,
think.
that's why probably why they gave it the hook. Like they like
Yeah,
flashed
it
like a
was
cue card
very.
that said like you have 15 seconds, and he like sped
I
it up
know.
real quick.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh crap, be prepared, be
Yeah, he's like,
prepared."
I gotta rush this. Sorry guys. Be
Yes.
prepared.
But
That's a
dude, I
great
don't know.
song too, which sucks.
Oh, and it was great. Do you ever feel this? I felt this on the original Lion King, and I felt it in this Lion King. I always get so freaking sad when Scar gets eaten by all the hyenas at the end.
No,
Do you feel that? Am I the only one? I asked other people, no one else feels that.
I don't.
It's
I didn't really
sad.
feel that way. I was kind of like, yeah, he probably deserves it. It's kind of a harsh ending,
It
maybe,
is
but
like it is pure suffering, which
he deserves it at that point.
I guess so. Maybe
Like,
I'm.
think about what he did. He murdered the king, his brother, and scared and slash lied to his nephew to the point where he had to run away from his whole family. Then he
All right,
took
man.
over the
You're gonna
kingdom and tried to bang his brother's wife while letting all these weirdos in, and they destroyed the entire land. So it's like, yeah, you probably deserved it at this point.
you're gonna challenge my ethics, man. Hmm?
Yeah, challenging your ethics and who you are as a person. Like, I felt bad for Hitler at that point. Like, he had to kill himself, and it's
Okay.
like you realize that
I
you
never said I feel bad for Hitler. I feel bad for Scar the
this is
lion.
our Twitter post. Does Dustin defend Hitler?
I'll
Listen
make
to the
it
latest episode of Popcorn
the
Brothers.
name of the video. Hitler did
Did
nothing
Dustin
wrong.
defends
Popcorn Brothers
Hitler?
episode 3. No, I think Hitler did plenty wrong. Not a fan at all. I
But
think that
you're a fan of Scar?
animals kill other animals all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a big old lion, and I don't think he needed to get killed by all the hyenas. I thought the hyenas voice actors. I
They
couldn't tell if
did
I liked
bad.
that or not.
They did really bad, I think.
Okay, good. I didn't. I need someone else to confirm that that was really bad.
It just
Like,
didn't work. Like in a cartoon, like they have that rat-a-tat and they're stupid, but it works really
uh-huh.
well. And then in the live action, they're just like none of the jokes landed, and it just felt weird. Plus,
Yeah,
it's
I
Keegan
can't.
Michael Key, and you just knew it was him the entire time.
I know.
It's
I
too. He
can't.
did too much. They didn't even try to make it any different.
I don't remember if they did this in the original Lion King, but like after they killed Mufasa, they instantly cut to a joke with the hyenas, and it just undercut the whole thing. And I just felt. I'm just gonna say this just to give you another slap in the face. I felt like like a Marvel movie.
Here we go.
No,
You can't
no,
take a second without.
it didn't feel like a Marvel because it works in Marvel movies. It felt like when Disney throws that Marvel movie stuff in like Star Wars, and it's like that just it's just weird because it's not cartoon, so it does nothing. Sometimes things just don't work. But let's try to rank this. Um,
Yeah, okay.
unless you have any other thoughts you had to get
First,
out
yeah,
there.
I just like to talk about. I just like to give a big round of applause to Seth Rogen
So the Rogan was great.
for saving this movie single-handedly. It just like it felt like to me the biggest problem was the voice acting because it felt like some of them just were mentally checked out the entire time,
It
and
was
it just didn't really like they just felt like a voice like it usually you get like the voice is tied so tightly with the cartoon you can just imagine that's the character talking, and
well. That's
sometimes
kind
it
of like
felt
the
like
issue.
a voice being played over like
Yeah,
a movie, and you're just like this is just doesn't feel right. But with I think Billy Eichner, Seth Rogen, and the guy who played Scar, and you're gonna hate this, John Oliver as the bird did a great job.
dude. I will say I I almost walked out of the theater when he said, "And that's the news" in the beginning. But I was like, "Please no!" Like, but I will say he definitely warmed up to
He
me in
was
that.
one of
I
the
think I
few
think he
that
did.
seemed really into it, like, and I
He
believed it.
he's I think he's one of the additions to the movie that like really added a lot to it that wasn't in the original because like
Yeah,
his character like changed a lot and had a lot of funnier things to say. So like I appreciated that, and I thought Seth Rogen was great, and I
he was
thought the
so
like
good.
I loved how they used an actual baby warthog for when I was a
Yeah,
young warthog.
the
That part,
whole audience in my theater just collectively went, "Oh!" right when
I
Baby
don't know,
Pumbaa walked out, and everybody
that was
loved
great.
it.
Puma was great.
Pumbaa was
Um,
amazingly funny.
but it does kind of like come down to the thing like times have kind of like changed with animated movies. Like before, they would always get like professional voice actors, like people who are
Yeah,
super trained and just like just do a very good job because this is what they do. But now, they get this big names like Beyonce and like nothing against Beyonce. She's the queen. She's
yeah.
the
You tread lightly
queen.
here.
Yeah, no, this is scary. One of our many of subscribers can get real
Yeah,
mad about
most of our
this.
subscribers are whatever they call Beyonce fans,
Yeah, uh, Beyonce's
like
and
the Bay Hives, the
the
Bays.
the
I don't know what they're called.
Bayhive.
I don't
But
know.
she was a big name. They clearly wanted her for the
Yeah.
soundtrack to sell
Yeah,
more.
they just wanted her to make
Like
that original song that everybody forgot was in the movie when it played,
yeah, exactly.
and
I
that's it.
I couldn't hum that at all right
I
now.
know I cannot even picture anything about
And
that scene or that song.
yeah, and so
Such a
like
force in for like just to say we got Beyonce, we got a new
yeah,
original for Lion King, and they just
we got
jammed it in
Beyonce.
somewhere like a transition.
It's just yeah, you can just tell that it's like a bunch of celebrities that are kind of just having fun being on the Lion King, opposed to like people actually voice acting these characters.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Some of them just felt way. I was impressed with Scar because it
I think he did
wasn't
good.
like
That was
classic
that was like one of
Scar.
the most controversial ones too, because they like changed him from his original, who was like really good
Yeah, and I thought like the guy who did it, I just can't remember his name, but the
originally.
guy, no, the guy who did it in the new one, I thought he brought
Oh
his
yeah,
own
I
little
don't know who it
flavor to Scar,
was.
and I thought it
Yeah,
worked.
I think Scar was great in this movie. I think Scar, Pumbaa, and like even like Timon, I warmed up to a lot. And yeah,
The
John
bird,
Oliver's
yeah,
was
the
pretty
bird was
funny.
good.
After the "that's the news" part, it was great. But some of the
Yeah,
scenes worked really well, like the watering hole scene and like all that when it got a little cartoony, a little creative. But
yeah,
I could just never recommend anyone watching this over the original. And I think that the only way to enjoy this movie is to have already seen the original and to like,
yeah.
because it's like a gimmick. It's just a big gimmick, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because it's so shot for shot like similar. They didn't
Yeah,
even try to like change it up. So it's like if you didn't see the original, this just seems like a weird movie.
I know. It's like, well, this is neat. I guess. Yeah, like I'm so curious. Like the question is like, what if the original Lion King never came out, and this is the first ever rendition of it that came out. Like I'm curious if that would be like a super hit or what people would
I
think
don't even
about it.
know.
This is an interesting question. People would be like, the music's really good, but why didn't they
Yeah,
make this more of a cartoon?
the
I
songs were still amazing too. Like
The songs
I
were all
found myself
great.
singing Hakuna Matata for like a week after that.
Dude, Hakuna Matata's still stuck in my head. I
Such a
can't.
great song.
Yeah. All the Timon and Pumbaa, Hakuna Matata, everything over
Yeah,
there
Timon
was
and Pumbaa
was
stole the
great.
show. Every single time they
They
were on, the
absolutely
crowd was
did.
laughing. Everybody was enjoying it.
And I think it's because they brought their own flair to it. Like
Yeah,
it
that's
wasn't
exactly what I think happened.
like everything in the beginning and like Simba and like Nala and whatever the mom's name is, like they were all just like worse versions of how they were
Yeah,
in the original. But like Timon and Pumbaa and John Oliver's character, they just brought something completely new to it. It was like it
yeah,
was fun.
I 100% agree with that. The voice actors that went out and like tried to make the character their own
Hmm.
killed it, and the ones that played it safe
Yeah, it was.
were
I
pretty
think
much lost.
the riskiest one was Billy Eichner. I think he just went all in
Yeah,
on being his own Timon.
yeah,
It
he
was
did because
nice.
he didn't even try to be Timon
Yeah,
everybody knows, and that actually shocked me at first because I was like, oh, this is
I know.
I love
I was
Billy
like
Eichner.
against it at first. I was like,
He's
oh
just doing his
man,
shtick, but it worked.
yeah,
I
he's
thought,
doing his thing. But this podcast is all about ranking these bad boys, man. So
yeah, I'm
let's
looking
do
at the
it.
ranking, and like I usually start from the bottom and just move it up till I feel like uncomfortable moving it up any higher.
Get a little
Like,
uncomfy. I think it's better than Men in Black.
yeah, I put it right over. I put it over Aladdin.
Better than Aladdin. I
I'm
think it's
having a
better than
hard.
Yesterday.
I'm having a hard time putting it over yesterday.
What I
I just yesterday's one of those movies that I think has really improved in my head. Maybe because I forgot the bad parts. Like
I
only
think
the good parts
Yesterday
stuck with me.
has
Maybe
gotten slightly worse in my head as time goes on.
yesterday
Because
was enjoyable. Like overall, I
it
was
wasn't.
always entertained.
This is such a tough thing because like what I liked about Lion King was the fact that it was the Lion King, and I like the Lion King. It's,
Yeah,
so like
it's just kind of
on
like the
its
end game thing where it's like I like it maybe more than what it is as a movie.
oh.
It's like I like Endgame because it's all of this thing wrapped together. It's like, I like Lion
So
King, like
you admitting a little something over there, huh?
yeah, like when the Mulan movie comes out next year, I'm gonna have this exact same sentiment. Like I love Mulan, the movie, so much that it made me.
What would
Even
you
if that's
say?
bad, I'll say I love Mulan.
So maybe as a movie is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood better than Endgame, Dylan?
Here, hold on a second. No,
The heck was that?
it's not even close. Oh, okay, it's probably pretty close, but
Okay,
I still
as
think
long as you
Endgame's a
say that.
better movie.
I don't know. I think Infinity War was better than Endgame,
I
but
think there's probably an argument to be made for that, but
as
I
long as I
still
can
think
win one.
I'll take either over Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
One day I'm gonna feel a little less agreeable, man, and I'm gonna go all
Oh,
out
okay.
on you. All right, but you're
All
lucky
right.
I'm
I'll
feeling.
roll my sleeves up.
Yeah, I'm real scared, man.
I'm gonna roll over
It's,
on some stuff, but I think I'll die on that hill pretty much all year until I feel like a movie earns its way
oh my
over
god,
Endgame.
we're gonna we should we should make an agreement that if we can't decide on a movie that's better than Endgame by the break of winter, we will fight in real life, fist
Yeah, we'll film
fights.
it. The mistake we
Nothing
made
to
was
do with
ranking
words.
Endgame as one of the first movies. We let it get to number. You let it get to number one, and I'm not
I
gonna let
shouldn't.
it fall back
I
down.
shouldn't let it get there. I mean, that was against like Godzilla and Dark Phoenix,
Yeah, so I
though.
didn't have much competition up until now either.
Well, I think this is a weird scenario because I think Dark Phoenix is better than Yesterday. I think Lion King was better than Dark Phoenix, but I think but I think Yesterday was worse than Lion King.
I'd be willing to make a compromise where we drop Dark Phoenix to
No,
7, move Yesterday to 6, and then drop Dark Phoenix again and put Lion King there.
I if you're gonna die on the hill of Endgame being number one, I'm gonna die on the hill of Dark Phoenix being better than
Man,
Yesterday.
you're gonna pick Dark Phoenix to be your like ride or die.
I
That's a
didn't.
sad decision.
I just strongly feel that Dark Phoenix was better than Lion King. Wait, no, I don't. I strongly feel it's better than Yesterday.
But you think it's worse. So you think Lion King should be 6?
I think Lion King should be between Yesterday and Dark Phoenix. Maybe it's tough because it was good, but at the same time, it was bad.
I think yesterday's better.
You know what I mean?
I would put yesterday over Dark Phoenix right now if we're rearranging things.
No, sorry, buddy. It ain't gonna
So, oh,
happen.
okay. What?
I would.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry, little
sorry,
guy. It's not gonna
sorry, little.
happen.
Sorry, string bean. This is my bench. You guys, what are you
I
trying to
just can't.
free weights
I
over
can't.
there?
I can't move Lion King over yesterday. I think yesterday's better.
I, I don't know what to say. I think Lion. I think I feel comfortable playing Lion King between Dark Phoenix and Yesterday. Why do you think Yesterday's better than Lion King? Let's hear that.
I just think it's a better crafted story. It's better told story. It had the music that we all love. It was heartwarming. It was funny. It was sad. It did a lot of things right for it. The things that it did wrong. Like I think the story could have been better, but it was still pretty solid. And overall, I think it's more enjoyable than watching Lion King. Like if you had to tell me, hey, you got to watch one of these movies again, I'll say I'll give Yesterday another chance over Lion King.
I said after seeing Lion King, I was like, I'm never gonna watch this one again. Like it was cool to
Yeah,
see it, and I enjoyed it. But if I ever want to watch Lion King, I would just watch the original. Like would have no urge to ever watch that again. I think I only really enjoyed it because I already like the Lion King. I like the music. I like Pumbaa, and
I like Pumbaa.
I saw it on IMAX.
Uh,
Uh,
man. Well, you can't. Those are literally two separate movies, so you can't like
this is
boost Lion King because you liked the other movie.
this is tough because if I would have put Lion King above Aladdin and before underneath Yesterday, that would insinuate that Lion King is only a little bit better than Aladdin.
That's why I'm saying we
So
swap yesterday
we'll
Dark Phoenix.
have to fill this list out more. Oh my god, I feel like I'm always freaking just doing what you want, man. One of these
well,
days.
we'll have to do an episode where we just go back down the list and rearrange
All right. Well, you
because I
know
think
what?
there's some rearranging to be
Let's.
done. But I think Lion
I
King
think Dark Phoenix is
is.
just fine where it's at.
I
Let's
think
put fine.
Lion
Let's
King
put
is
Lion
8.
King. Let's put Lion King at 8. Move Aladdin down to 9, and let's move Men in Black down to 10.
I like that.
And thus, we have our top 10 of this year so
Our
far.
our first top 10.
First top 10. Let's go. Let's go down the list really quick. We'll start at the bottom.
Okay.
Number 10, Men in Black International.
First, is that sitting better with you now? It's been
Dude,
like a month.
I
And I think I like it more, but
than
not that
Aladdin.
much more.
Do you like it more than Aladdin? Because I'm feeling about moving that, switching those
Yeah, I was
around.
just thinking, I think I like it more than Aladdin.
I think I liked it a lot more than Aladdin. The more I think about it, I don't like any of them that much. But if I had to watch one again, I don't know if that's not how we should be ranking this. But Men in Black is sitting a lot better in my head as time goes on than Aladdin, which is just the more I think
So
about it, the more like
yeah,
just dumb that movie was.
we can sit on this. We should do like next episode at the end. We'll take some time and just review, see if
All
we want
right.
to change some things up. Let's just go up the list now.
So you don't want to commit to switching those right now.
No, I think I need some more time to come up with an argument in
All
my
right.
head as
All
to that's the right
right.
decision.
Whatever, dude. So number 9, Aladdin. Number 8, The Lion King.
Hmm.
I want to fight you
Yeah.
about this later. I think Lion King is better than Yesterday. But 7, Yesterday. 6, Dark Phoenix. 5, Godzilla.
How about Godzilla holding on to a top 5 finish right now?
I'm
Clinging on.
shocked.
It's clinging on for dear life. I
It,
feel
it
like it's
is
been close to being bounced a few times.
the next movie that we see that is actually any good. I think Godzilla will be going down
Yeah,
out of
that's
the
why I
top
say I think
5.
it's clinging to that top 5 because I
Yeah,
think it's just waiting to be dropped.
he needs to liquidate all of his assets right
Yeah,
now.
sell, sell,
Yeah,
sell because you're headed down.
but
It's got some
this
stalwarts above it, which it's going to be tough to move
it's gonna
that
be
top
tough to
4
move some
around.
of those. Yeah, because like
Yeah.
number 4 we got after Godzilla. Number 5 we have Toy Story 4, which is was a good movie, but it's kind of sitting in my head as just
Yeah.
nothing special.
That could be another one that is I could see moving around.
But there's no way Godzilla's better than Toy Story 4 though.
No.
It's definitely where it belongs.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Number 3, Spider-Man Far From Home. That was
Great
good.
movie. Great movie.
Number two, I think there's a big gap between number two and number three. Number
Mm,
two, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I love the title of that movie. It's cool.
it is a
Is
cool
it
title.
because it is like a fairy tale version of what kind of happened, but also very gruesome. And number one, we have Endgame.
I'm happy. I agree. There's a big gap between two
Yeah,
and three,
those are the Titans, number one and two, right
but I
now.
think I'm hoping by the end of the year our whole top five is like close.
Yeah, I think I gotta hope that there's gonna be some better movies coming out this year.
Honestly, what is it? It's freaking
But I,
August in like 2 days, and I feel like I've not seen one movie where I'm like, whoa.
hmm what's
Maybe
coming
we
out
got a
next week?
uh, Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay, that's not gonna make any moves,
I'm
huh?
gonna go see it because I'm actually pretty interested now. The trailers have
No, yeah,
sold me that
dude.
it might be really fun.
I'm seeing ads everywhere. I'm excited to see well, shoot, what's his name is the villain?
Idris Ilba.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I see billboards everywhere. I think next week we should do Hobbs and Shaw, and we should fill our backlog in a little bit.
yeah. I think I'm gonna head on to the old internet and maybe we'll come up with some movies that probably haven't seen that have come out earlier this year.
hmm
There's got to be one or two that we just missed that are worthy of being in the top 10.
I know one for sure that's worth being in the top five that we haven't talked about.
Yeah, we've got a couple that I think are gonna
Yeah,
push for that some of those
yeah. We
spots.
can. You just want to say which movies that have seen that we've yet to we've both seen we've yet to rank that
Yeah,
could come
we
in the
got
future.
four on that list. We got The
Yeah.
Hustle, which is a contender.
For something.
Long Shot, which most of you
It's-
probably have no idea what that is. And then Booksmart, which is like a weird sleeper. People liked it,
Mhm.
but nobody saw it type of thing. And then Rocket Man.
Do you know what else we've both seen that we haven't put on that list?
What?
Fighting with My Family.
Yeah, that also. I freaking love that movie.
Yeah, this will be something we'll just tease it for now. But I think next episode we probably won't talk about Hobbs and Shaw for 40 minutes, so we
Yeah,
can
so
definitely fill in
we'll
some
dive into some
backlog there.
backlog next
Yeah,
time
so we
around,
got
and
five right there, and I know I've seen some you haven't seen, you've seen some I haven't seen, so we'll have to
yeah,
catch
so
up on all that.
yeah, bear with us as we go through
Yeah,
the
we're
kind of the
very
first quarter
busy,
of the year,
very busy. A lot going
filling
on.
that stuff in. Yeah, a lot of movies, not a lot of good movies.
Not a lot of good movies this year.
I've not been impressed.
Yeah, I'm depressed.
I'm
Uh,
completely like unsatisfied with what I've seen. I think the
uh,
sucky part is there's actually been movies that I've been stoked about, like Yesterday, Godzilla, and Dark
yeah, Toy
Phoenix,
Story
that have just
4
been not that good.
it just didn't blow my mind. Yeah, it's been kind of sad, honestly. Not
Yeah, it's been a tough year for movies, especially because last year I think was freaking dynamite.
yeah, but usually it's the summer, so not a lot of classics come out in the summer typically, except for like Jaws or whatever. I know historian though, so that's all I'm gonna
Yeah,
say about
I'd call you a
that.
cinephile, but not a historian. I'm a
I me
self-described cinephile.
I make films, not movies.
Yeah,
Oh,
what the heck is a movie?
we'll close this off by just
Oh
I'll just
wait,
say
oh I got
what the
one more
guy in my
thing that's
office
gonna
said.
say.
Once
This
upon a
is
time in Hollywood.
oh yeah, well hold on one second. Just one comment.
What?
I remember you always talking about how every like student director profile picture is them pointing somewhere.
Yeah,
And I
it's
was
always them
watching
pointing.
that Quentin Tarantino YouTube movie, and it was
Uh,
like flashing up the greats, and every single photo was them pointing at something. And I
I'm
was like,
telling you,
that's
man.
so freaking funny.
I know, like I'm guilty of it too. I have a lot of friends in college where we would like direct short films, and no matter what, if it was indoors, if it was nighttime, if you just got a fresh haircut, the director always showed up with a hat on, even if he never
Yeah,
wore a hat in his entire
hat on,
life.
you're
He's
pointing
putting
at
it.
something.
He's putting that hat on. He's pointing at something, and the next 2 weeks that's his profile picture.
It's a
I've done it.
guarantee. It's a guarantee.
I,
Yeah,
wa-
it's a guarantee.
it's just what you do. Me put that little hat on, and you're a big shot.
It's true. It probably makes you feel pretty cool, especially when you see the photos of Spielberg, hat on, pointing.
Hat
Like,
on.
that's gotta be me.
But
Okay, bring
yeah.
us into a closing thought, Dustin, about
Oh
what
yeah.
your
Closing
employees.
closing thought. Um, my employee, not my employee, my my coworker.
my a man who works for me.
One of my many employees, he was just talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and this is the kind of stuff that makes me roll my eyes a little bit, even if you agree with it or not. He was just like, I keep reading reviews for this, and everyone says that Margot Robbie's character just had nothing to do, and they're they're idiots. They just don't understand it. like like
Oh my
he was
god!
throwing that out there. He's just like they don't understand.
Like
Like
the people who
no,
watch
and then
movies
he
for
was
a
like
living don't understand.
she she her parts of the movie were filmed like an Italian film
Oh my
back in
god!
the
I hate
60s.
this guy.
I was like, I'm like, dude, if that's the case, 95% of the people that watch the movie aren't gonna understand. So is that
No one
good?
who's seen an Italian movie. Like
Yeah,
raise,
no one.
raise your hand right now. Like it's no
Like
one.
everyone in just imagine a full theater, everyone's like looking at each other, nodding their heads, and be like, "This is like the
Oh
Italian
yeah,
'60s movies."
someone's going to say it's like an Italian movie.
On
Right?
a
I know,
lighter
I know.
note, one thing I learned from this movie was that they were called spaghetti westerns because they
Yeah,
were movies filmed in Italy that were
yeah,
westerns. That's hilarious. It's freaking
yeah.
funny.
That's very funny. I
Yeah,
think I knew that before, but it was
I
like
didn't know that.
affirmation because
I
it's like I think I heard it, but I wasn't sure. But now I'm like, oh, that's definitely what it is.
That's
That's
so
freaking
funny.
funny.
That's a spaghetti western.
Spaghetti western, baby.
Yeah, but
That's why
that's all
that
the time.
it's
Oh,
an
shut
Italian
up.
movie. It's an
Closing
Italian.
the podcast. Sorry. Hey,
Hey,
were you
take it
quiet?
easy, buddy.
Yeah, it's an Italian movie. I feel bad. All right, that's all the time we have for today with the Popcorn Brothers. Make
Thanks
sure to
for
subscribe.
spending your afternoon with the
Yes,
bros.
with the broskies. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. Leave us a little likey, a little comment, and we'll be working on getting
Yeah.
us on iTunes and such soon.
Yeah, tweet at
Yeah.
us. Tweet us
Yeah.
what you think of the list. Call us complete morons for not knowing that it was filmed like an Italian movie.
And oh yeah, definitely follow us on Twitter because we're gonna be posting some real silly
Yeah.
memes and such.
Send us some memes.
Yeah, send
We
us
love
some
memes.
memes. We love memes.
Yeah.
All right, well, bye, I guess.
See you guys.
Pop de pop pop.